okay, so, you guys are marking levels here and here and like this and like this. And maybe you are, maybe you aren't, I'm not sure. And you're marking all these levels and it just kind of becomes chart kind of regurgitation, right? Like it just becomes an overload of information on a chart that just doesn't really make sense, right? The purpose of today is to understand how do we make money every single day. And again, like I said, people are going to be at different levels and different tones of where they're at. You guys are marking trends and on all these things. And I see people's charts and I see I see charts and they end up looking like this. You got millions of levels in here. So you go into your time frames and they're all marked differently and they all have, and maybe this is my fault because of my XBT chart on stream is pretty bad as well. Then I see this and it's like, okay, how the hell are you guys making decisions on this? Like, what are you guys doing with this? Like, it's good to have information on your chart, right? And then on top of that, I see trend here and trend here. And this is what I see on charts. And it's like, okay, I get it. There's information that you guys want to follow, but this is more of like analytics at that point. This is more of trying to make analytical sense of charts and not actually creating moments and decisions, right? Where it's like, oh, I can make money here because of this reason, right? So that's kind of super important to know. So I'm going to walk through my levels here and what I've marked real quickly. We missed it because someone's share screen wasn't on. That guy's got to get fired. So we got, weekly to weekly trend here. This would have allowed us, for example, this is good information that would have allowed us to make the right decision. And then we have a couple trends up here that make sense in the moment and nothing, much more than just a few trends. So, had we been in this moment here, right? Had we been in this moment here, this is just kind of what I was going through in the replay tool. You would have seen the, let's go to the minute charts here. Yeah. Okay. 1 minute charts. Perfect. And let's get to this moment here. You would have seen that if you mark trend properly here, this is trend here. And this is information in this moment where it's like, okay, I could have made a good decision here to make money and I could have 100x this. And it's like, oh, there's 600%. And here's another 800%. And here's another whatever. So you guys make that decision in the moment. And it's just, this is information, quality information that is on your screen right now that makes sense to take trades based upon. And so fine. You have trend and this trend was hit and you lose trend, right? So fine. Maybe you took one too many trades, right? The level gets hit 1, 2, 3 times. It's kind of like, oh, what do you expect after a level's been hit? Once, you're safe to fly. Once, you're safe to take any kind of trade you want on it. Twice is like, okay, well, maybe second entry people are getting in. This went 3 times and in the span of half an hour, you could have extrapolated close to 20% or 25% out of this trade across multiple trades. And it's like going lower and lower and lower every time. And then it falls through trend. And you get exit entry before you would have got liquidated. So it's kind of like, okay, well, you took this trade. It happened 3 times, possibly even a little scalp in here 4 times for another little couple percent. And then what do you expect? Of course, it's going to collapse down. So it goes to its appropriate level, right? So it goes and falls down to its appropriate level, and we can use maybe a little bit of a larger time frame here. Trading view. Hello. Here we go. We have our trend right here. Trend collapses. It goes right to its level. That's fine. What I was showing you guys before when we missed it on the screen is like miraculously, you've got your tested hold here, and then you had your range down here, which was the actual target, which is fine. That's the actual target, and this is, and what I was saying before is like immaculately in the span of a few seconds, BitMEX managed to go down when this level was hit. Another conversation for another time. Almost as if it was a safeguard that was triggered, right? Like it's kind of a little silly that when this level got hit, it basically shut down BitMEX, which is odd to say the least. Yeah, on other exchanges, it actually did hit the target. On BitMEX, it went to this level, and you can see the level. It's right there. It's a tested hold. It was tested. It held its range. It's a different type of level. It's something I talk about in the butterfly effect. Is a little different here. Why this level is what it is, and what this one is why and what it is. So a little different there. But anyways, regardless, hits its level, loses trend, hits its level, bang. So you have your trade. And in the moment, that would have been useful information because you could have taken a few trades on trend, and you would have been like, okay, this is collapsing down. Let me just take a few trades on my next level, because it's valuable information in the moment. Having 100 levels here won't allow you to make that decision. You have 2 levels, right? You have actually 3 levels, and each of them have their own respective reaction point that's going to be created, right? So you have 3 levels, which you should be taking trades on. Everything else is just noise on your chart. So that's kind of like the tone of today. Is like, what do we do in the moment to kind of find these trades? And no matter what level you're at, you should be able to mark some of these levels. Now you might be more advanced, you might be less advanced. Speaking of trades from yesterday, like a mentorship group, we had taken a trade, or at least we had designed out the trade. I have to look at my other screen where the actual level is. Okay, let's do it. I might have already deleted it. Where is it? Right here. This is a lower here. What was the price I was supposed to hit? 66.73. So it was supposed to hit 66.73 before a major pullback. So we had our short marked here, and it was useful information. So there's a lot of levels that I have marked, but this is useful information to understand where something is going to have a pullback. And so it did. That's fine. It has a pullback, but it was useful information in that exact moment. Now I have all kinds of levels marked up here, right? I have all sorts of information marked on my actual trading chart, and I have these different things going on. What is actually useful that's going to make me money, right? There's actually, what do you do in the moment? Because again, I see too many people, and they have their charts are like this, but times 50, right? It's an overload of information. It's just too much information, right? They'll have stuff like this marked, and then they'll have like this marked, because they're trying to make sense out of it, and then they'll have this marked here, and then they'll have this marked here, and then they'll also have something inside of here marked right here, and then they'll also have this marked here, and then they'll also have and so they've got all these different tags and information points of, oh, what are these levels, what are, and then they'll have maybe a trend like this. I don't know, maybe will they just connect 2 points here? We're just going to kind of do some random stuff on the screen, just try to connect a few points here, and then they'll have like this right here. Like, what did this do for you, right? Like, what did this do for you? Okay, you lost a trend. What does that even do for you? Even this trend in the moment, like, it would have been here, and it's like, well, what did this even do for you? How did this give you any useful, like, yeah, this one did, but again, right, you lost your trend. You're going to dump. So this one was useful information. This here, not useful information. This here, not useful information. This is actually the right level. And you can see where it holds trend, and over time it loses it, and then it just falls off a cliff, right? So this is what I was looking at yesterday and saying, okay, well, I understand that it's going to lose this trend for different reasons. There's a level that I'm going to target that I think is going to be what's going to cause the trend loss. And so it did. It went a little higher than expected. It went actually about $30 or $40 higher, but not bad. Catching $30 or $40 from a what's a 10% move or 9.5% or whatever it was. I only got 6%, but that's fine. I'm happy with that. Whatever it was, where's the useful information on this chart? Because then people are doing this and all these different things, and it's like, okay, you guys have to understand what the actual information, and let's do this properly here. Okay, so we're going to delete this. Oops, not that one. We're going to get rid of this one here. Put this here, and I'm just going to visually do this with my eyes to here, right here. So that's your trend right now. That's fine. Let me double check that. Oh, no. We want this one here, like this. Come on. Right there. Okay, good. There to there. Yeah, this is trend right here. So, right, useful information. And what inside of here is actually useful? Like, what are we using, right? Let's start looking at what makes sense to use in terms of, like, how, again, you're talking about that same thing. How do we just log on and make money? Like, all this stuff is crap here. It's all gone. There's nothing here. There's nothing here. There's nothing here. These won't help you make decisions, right? Because again, you can have all these lines, but unless you pick the right one, it doesn't matter. Your chart, your guys' chart should be very, very minimal. This is how we make money as day traders. We log on, and you know what? To prove a point, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to just delete my chart because I do this all the time. I just delete my chart. It's gone. I don't care, right? Oh, let's all drawing tools. I don't need any of that stuff. It's not important to me anymore. I almost do this daily. I almost go on my charts and all that precious work I have, I just delete it because I don't care. Because you know what I'm looking at? I'm looking at what can possibly happen today. So what I'm going to look at is I'm going to look at like this. I'm going to set some targets. I want to see like, okay, what's my worst case scenario? Where am I actually going here? Okay, so let's set a 4-hour hold level. Target number 1. Let's go to a higher time frame. And we're going to say, okay, we have a daily right here. Target number 2. This is the extent of everything that could possibly happen today. And anything outside of this, I just not interested. Not interested. I just want to know how to make 1, 2, 3, 4% today. And that's like 100, 2, 3, 400%. If you guys can make 100% a day, even on $500, you're going to be rich. It's actually quite simple. It's actually very, very simple. So all we're doing is starting to define the criteria of what is like our kind of maximum potential that could happen. So this is a daily. So we're going to just simply do this. We're going to go daily right here. So that's a kind of a daily range that we're going to sit inside of. And this is a 4-hour. So if we go down, we're going here. If we go up, we're going to there. That's it. Nothing else. I don't care about anything else. I don't care about anything else up here, down here. Get that stuff out of your mind. It doesn't matter. If you are going to break up to some crazy level right now, like, okay, here, we're going to mark one level. This guy right here. If you're going to run up to some crazy level right now, it's going to be this, and that's it. If you're not already in the trade as a long, you are a fool to get in this trade at any other time other than the bottom. I'm going to be the first to say that. Only buy bottoms and tops because everything else is just increased risk until you guys learn how to do it better and more properly, right? Just if for some reason you're to break above this 6,500 range and run up to 73.45, all you need to know is that level's ready for you to short. You don't need to FOMO in on and get in on the move because I'm telling you, there's so many rejection points inside of this range. It's almost an overabundance. The likelihood that it actually comes up to this is so unlikely. The likelihood that it even comes up and tests this daily is highly unlikely. It's most likely going to stay inside of this range today. If anything, it'll drop to attack this, right? So this is like every single day, this is like the bulk of my charts. This is the most important decisions I'll make that day. And it's not this thing where I've created this elaborate chart that is just so insane that it can't even breathe. We can even just look at, okay, so if that's true, let's do the same thing. Who cares? Who cares if we delete our work? It doesn't matter. We don't need all that extra crap. All we need to do is mark this, right, for today. And then we need to go and mark this daily. I think it was right here. Yeah, right there. So then we can just mark this as a daily, right? This is our daily, or it's a 4-hour, whatever you want to mark it as. I just find it on the daily, so I'm just using red. Really, I understand it visually with my eyes, so I don't need to really color code. Like I color code, but like I'm just so used to doing this stuff that they could all be gray, and I would just kind of remember what the levels are because I'm just so used to categorizing them, right? It's just something you develop over time. So whatever the color is, it does, that's fine. It doesn't matter. Your color is your color. And even if you were to go in here today and you were to take this and say, okay, let's actually use the replayer tool and go to here. Okay, so fine, it hits its level in here. There's a different level it hits. We won't discuss what level it hit today. Why? And that's fine. That's not what today's about. You can just start setting some parameters on this trade. If you were in this moment, you could just simply set some parameters as to, okay, I want to short or I want to long. And these are spots that I could do it in, right? So that kind of would have been your first short. Maybe it's on a different time frame here. Yeah, it's right here on the hourly. So that's fine. Could even be on a different time frame here. So that's fine. The hourly right there. So that level is already hit and it's gone. We don't need it anymore. We simply just don't need it. And then you could move this to right here. And this level was actually already hit, but we can leave it there anyways. That's fine. So you could even just define some beginning parameters. So like how do you make money on this, right? We're just going to let this thing kind of stabilize out a bit. Let it have its pullbacks and its moves because you already would have taken your first short. You would have been looking for information like this. Hey, we got a hold level here. This is a place where I can make money. You see, we don't need all this other crap on the screen. We don't even need this level up here. We don't need this down here. We simply have a hold level that we could have longed, and we simply had a short that we could have shorted here. Now, I probably wouldn't have shorted this. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I probably wouldn't have shorted this. I would have gotten a little greedier and waited till up here. So I probably would have missed this short. That doesn't mean if you didn't mark the inverse level here on the higher time frame, it doesn't mean you made a bad decision. So 616, I probably would have went like 614.50 or maybe like 613.50. Did that even get hit? 613.50 is the lowest I would have. Where did it go here? 62.11. I would have missed entry by $2. No problem. I don't care. There's another trade happening in a few minutes. So what do I care? And then just shortly after, you have a hold level. And this is the information that you need to know every day. Like just what's next, not what is on your charts and oh, there's a 4-hour level all the way out here. Yeah, I mean, if we come down to this level, I'm happily going to jump in with 2 feet and put a relatively large 100x position there. And that's good, as I should. I need to know kind of my extreme events that can happen that day. And this is going to be different tomorrow. So if this gets hit today and I take my trade, guess what? It's gone tomorrow. I'm not taking that trade ever again. Just what's next is what's important to us. Like just what's next. In this moment, you have a hold here. You also had one right here. Now this is quite high in the range. You can see this is, okay, fine. It develops a hold level. It's quite high in the range. So to buy here is quite silly, in my opinion. It's just way too high in the range. Doesn't mean it's not going to attempt and there's going to be some people try to play this level. That's fine. There is. And you can see the level holds for a little while and then breaks down, and that's fine. It's just a little bit of a silly trade in my opinion, but this makes a little bit more sense. You've been dumping down 10% in one night. You've got kind of the greediest hold level in here. Makes sense that this gets hit and it has a move up. And where is it going to go to? Well, it's going to go to either one of its respective levels, and let's talk about that. Where can it go? It can go to one of its respective levels in here, right? Like you got a hold level here, so it could possibly just go to here. If it breaks past this, it could attempt to go back to this level, or it could simply go to its next hold level right here. So we're going to just mark a few of those. So this is kind of the information you use in the moment and say, okay, where is it going next? So I've understood what's next on my charts because I need to make money every day. And this is how I'm going to do it. I'm just going to go. I'm going to wake up in the morning. I'm not going to be charting at 9 o'clock at night because then I'm not going to get any sleep. That's something I'm going to tell you guys. Don't ever do that. Don't start charting at 9 p.m. at night, 2 hours before bed, because then you're going to see crap like this. Like that's what I did last night. And I avidly advise my students, don't do this. It doesn't matter if this gets hit overnight while you're sleeping 59.95. This great 4-hour level that's going to give us 5 or 6 or 7% or whatever. Yeah, okay, great. I put $2,500 of leverage on that, and I can make 20 grand. I just have to wait for the level to hit. It's never going to get hit because every single night okay, fine. It will get hit sometimes, but you'll get into the same pattern every single night, and you won't sleep, and you'll be waking up every single night. You'll be setting alarms at night. Just treat it like a day job. You just go to your store, open the door, sell the eggs to Kathy and Joe and the milk and whatever. And then you just close shop and people can come back tomorrow because you guys have to be healthy in order to make money, right? You have to be healthy physically and mentally in order to make money because it's a big part of what we do is mental health. Being able to actually make these decisions properly in the moment. So charting at 9 p.m., no bueno, because you're not taking trades anyway. So what are you wasting your time for? Go spend time with your family, go watch a show, go watch Ozark. I heard season 3 just got released. That's a good one, right? They're a small town with 1,000 people and small stores like what I'm talking about. You don't have to do this. I for the first time in a long time, because I'm so excited about this level being hit, last night I was up till 12:30 at night, and I shouldn't have been. I should have just shut it down, and I should have just said because I realized as I'm sitting there and it's 11 o'clock and I'm marking these levels and I'm like, okay, and I took one scalp up in this range at 61.30 something. It was right here. I took a scalp right here for a nice 1%, and so I took this scalp here, and I'm trying to trade and all this stuff, and it's 9 o'clock at night and I'm sitting there and I'm like, I shouldn't be doing this, but anyways I still did. So I did make 100% on one trade, which was great. But then as the time is going and it's just the clock is winding down and it's all of a sudden it's 11 o'clock and I'm falling asleep at my desk. All of a sudden it's 12:30 and I'm eating cereal, like, okay, I gotta stay up, this level's gonna be hit soon. It's like it never was hit. It was never hit. Just shut it down, right? Like you don't need to do that. I didn't even need to trade this. This was stupid. I shouldn't have done that. I should have just woke up, go to work the next day, just look at what's next, because every single day in these markets, you can make 200, 300, 400, 500%. So, but you have to be healthy to do it. So in this moment, this would have been a good example of, oh, here's a hold level. It gets hit and it gets held over a few candles. Hey, this seems like a pretty smart trade to be in. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4 candles. It's holding its hold level from a larger time frame. Hey, this looks pretty smart. We should probably take this trade here. And then we can just stop out relatively. If the level breaks down, we can just get out for $1 or $2 under it and take almost no losses on a 100x contract, right? And so it goes after its valley and target is hit, right? So inverse holds the move down, valley breaks the move up, target is hit, right? You could have exited the trade there. How much could you have made, right? And this is over the course of 20 minutes, as long as you understood what was next, right? You don't need to catch big 4-hour candles like that. They happen when you're trading, perfect. If not, hey, here's 70, just call it 70% after fees and everything. This is a fairly simple trade. If this inverse doesn't pull the move back, you just go after the valley. It's going to break the move to move it up. So that means we're going to go after the next hold level. You, sir, are gone. No, it actually broke up even further. Haha, look at that. Oh, and even further, we exited too soon. Hey, we still made 78%. Not bad. Oh, it actually went after its actual target. Oh, not bad. Pretty decent. So, had we been a little more patient, we actually could have made 200%, right? Not bad. But again, break level means the move is moving up. So maybe you exited here. Maybe there's a smaller time frame hold inside of here. And there is. It's right here. There's a smaller time frame hold right here, actually. So it actually didn't even reach that hold and just went up after its level. So that's fine. Whether you made 78% or 2% or 200% on here, not really important. The only thing that's important is you at least made money, right? You had money that you made. It actually went up after its higher range too, which is quite crazy. Yeah, it actually went after the top of its range.